WW7ATS.
K7ITX, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. You got a good signal? Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, that will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, a little history of our organization, and also you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays. Choose WW7STR's repeater 147.08. And note, for this net, you need a tone of 103.5. You'll need a tone of 103.5 for this net. 147.08. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before the net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. So far checked in by video link is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, myself, Dave, KD7ZYM, and Carlos, AD7NP. Is there anybody else who would like to check in?
Good evening. WW7N from Northeast Bellevue.
WW7N, thank you for checking in. You have a great signal this evening. Let's go to Ron, KD7QKU, to start off the net.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. Well, tonight I'm receiving the 1.2 different location. I'm using a laptop for Discord, an old laptop. But I was getting an awful lot of feedback. I wonder if my 2-meter radio isn't getting into the ATV receiver. I don't know. Maybe it's okay now. I muted the ATV TV set, but the 2-meter radio, I think, was definitely feeding back through it. This may be a problem if we try to use the ATV for sound and not the radio. And Dave, you couldn't hear me when I was on Discord here with my old laptop, so I don't know what's going on with it. Well, anyway, the picture quality, way it switched to channel 2 instead of channel 3. That was a little confusing when I first turned everything on. And the signal strength tonight is less than it was the other day. The other day I was up at 78% signal strength. Today I'm down to 62 or 58. The light is green on my receiver box, so I'm locked in. And my picture looks good. He's not transmitting anybody's picture. All I see is color bars, so I don't see anybody's picture. So I'm looking at the color bars coming from Cougar Mountain. They look good. So I guess that's about it for this round. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Well, Wade is working on the issue as we speak to get the signal I'm sending up out over both to the repeater output and to YouTube. So I'm at home as usual tonight, or as has been usual, but I have very big news. I did some testing yesterday, and I was able to receive video from the repeater directly. Unfortunately, it wasn't at any of the places I went to try and get the signal. I left it on the whole time I was driving, and Dave will know this area very well. It's right near where Dave lives. I was driving north from Lake City on Bothell Way, which is what Lake City Way turns into as you leave the city. And I was there on Bothell Way, almost down into Lake Forest Park, the shopping center there, and it popped in for a short bit while I was on Bothell Way, and I couldn't really stop or pull over. And besides, I'm not going to try to park somewhere there to get a signal, but the great news for me is it worked. You know, my receiver is working, everything locked in very nicely, but it lasted only about 30 seconds to a minute. But I got a beautiful picture. So I did try transmitting as well, but that was in a location where I wasn't receiving anything. So really, you know, I expect my transmitter to work fine as well, but I just need to find the right spot. So that's going to be my next quest here for going mobile, is find that spot where I can get in. There is so hilly that it's, you know, going to the north, it's kind of tough. I may have to go down 405 toward Kirkland. I don't know. I've got to try and find some spot where I can actually, you know, pull in and park and get a signal. So that's my quest. But I'm just very, very happy that I finally got a signal, because I had not been getting anything. I'd been trying to drive around, and yesterday I went to places where I thought I absolutely would get it. I went to my old home in Maple Leaf. And I went up to the park at Maple Leaf and kind of tried around there because it's up on the ridge and should get in, but there are just too many trees and houses, you know, that if I was in my home, I actually parked right next to my home, my old home. If I was in it, I'd be up high enough I could get in, but I couldn't get out over the trees and houses from my car. There's work to do. Okay, back to net, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. And let's go down to Arizona for Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, that's great news, Bob. Congratulations on receiving the repeater signal with your equipment. But yeah, no, like all of us, we got a lot of work to do. Right now, I'm in the middle of trying to get back on Discord, so and I'm not sure what it wouldn't let me in like usual, but I think I'm working on it, and maybe in just a little bit you'll see my picture. But for the time being, right now, I'll just pass it back to Net Control. K7ITX, back to Net Control.
ITX. Well, let's go to Tacoma to Wade, W7ATL.
W7ATL, you can go ahead and skip over me. I'm having some issues with Discord on the server, so I got to mess with this and get this working, and maybe I'll have something to talk about on the next round.
ITL, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Dick, problems with the computer. Wade, problems with the computer. Ron, I don't know, maybe problems with the computer, maybe feeding 2 meter through the 1.2 converter. I don't know. Anyway, Ron, encouraging to hear that you're receiving a picture on 1.2. Wish I could see what you're seeing. Bob, at least able to receive from a remote location digital video on 1.2. That's encouraging. Man, I don't know. I can't say a whole lot more about the video now. I've got a. Has anyone heard? There's an aircraft out of Whidbey that somehow had a little mishap in the vicinity of Mount Rainier. I didn't get to hear what happened to it. They were looking for the airplane and the crew. Don't know if they ever found it. If anyone has more recent information on that than I got, I'd appreciate it if you'd chime in. And in the meanwhile, good luck with the issues. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
7QO. And this is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. And it's an answer to Jim in 7QO. They did fuss for if the pilots tonight on the news.
U7N here in northeast Bell. I did send you an email administratively, but if I've fallen behind, let me know. Anybody. I found the aircraft, but I'm glad they did find the airplane. And maybe we'll get more information on that tomorrow. Let's see. Excellent progress on the new digital signal. Glad to hear that you were able to really make some progress. Please send it to me in the chat or something, and I'll do it. Weekend news here. Thanks to Richard's excellent advice, I did get the 2-deck rail. I was just about ready to say, okay, we'll just have. I recognized I had one sunny day left to try and get the sealant on the wood. The day started Sunday morning. The project started about 9:30. I was able to find a Sherwin-Williams store open that would honor the discount I had, so went through all that, got the best quality brush I could, and went at it like a monkey on a crack until about 8 p.m. at night. and I knew I was in trouble because I could hear my pulse pounding in my ear, and the next day I could hardly get out of bed. I was very sore all over, and was very, very sore up until today as well, but I think I'm at least to the point where I can get in and out of a chair without having to grab hold of something, so I think I'm recovering. The sealant, if anybody needs some, the contractor said they would have to buy 2 gallons at full price. The smallest container I could get was 1 gallon. I think I've used about 2 inches out of the top of it, so if anybody needs some, let me know. It's some sort of a poly plastic type stuff. It's very different, and I think it's funny. So many people told me, yeah, well, you got to put at least 2 or 3 coats of sealant on wood. This stuff on the can says, well, if you're going to put more than 1 coat on, you have to do it within 2 hours of the first coat, which isn't enough time to let it dry. So the marketing department put those instructions on there for people that still feel they have to put 3 coats on. But let's see, it's well over 27 slats on the bottom, 27 slats on the top, and 2 facing boards. And the problem is those 27 slats are 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. You got to do 4 sides and then reach over the deck and get down where it goes, attaches to a board on the bottom of the deck, and which means since you can't get your head through the little slats, that's the whole point, to keep some child falling to their death. It's a big project. Got that done, and then it really WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. I'm going to turn it back to our net control. Take it away, Dave.
WW7N, thanks for that explanation of getting that railing ready. Boy, are you great for getting painting done. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Well, for me today it was domestic chores around the house. Boy, that's so exciting to do. But anyway, I got my house cleaning done and laundry out of the way, so that was my highlight for the day. And I did tune into some news programs to see what was going on in the electoral world out there for candidates and seeing what was happening there. So that's about what I've been doing today. And for James, I guess you're lucky the atmospheric river that was supposed to come through didn't make it. So I believe it's supposed to start again tonight, so we'll have to see what happens. So you'll be able to go out and test to see if the wood repelled all the rain off of your new painted wood. So that's about all I've got to say. Now let's move on to Carlos, our latest new member, 87NF. 87NF. Carlos, go ahead.
Sounds good. Good evening, everyone. Dave and everyone else on the net, and thank you for the welcome message. And Jim, thank you for mentioning the email. I just checked the inbox, and I can see it there. News from here is that I'm still waiting on the equipment. That I think it's arriving next week. Unfortunately, I will be out of the country for the next 2 weeks, and so I'll probably join you back after November 2nd as I come back. But I have been working on the antennas and the preamps, and so if I show you kind of my little receiver here, I can see the signal on 1.2, and it's very visible there. So I'm hopeful that once I get the proper receiver, this should be up and running. I can clearly see the 2 megahertz right now. I've played around with multiple devices that I have. I got a Liver SDR similar to Wade, but I don't have a proper amplifier, so I can generate a signal, but I'm not able to reach the repeater for now. But looking forward in a couple of weeks to join the signal. I'm following the stream from the BATC whenever Wade has been able to set it up, and looking forward to be an active member. Back to net control. Thank you very much. 87NP, Carlos.
Carlos, thank you very much for joining the net. And at this point, I get a little idea, and again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine on Dave, GD7CYN. I'll pause in case anybody else wishes to join the net at this time. Not hearing in again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Ron in Tacoma, KD7QKU.
This is KD7. I don't know if you're hearing it, but I heard a lot of background noise and stuff on Dave's table. I didn't hear it on it. Good evening, Carlos. Welcome to the group. I'm getting a P5 picture from Cougar Mountain on my little TV set here. I try to show it to you, but the old laptop, I don't think the camera is very good. My antenna is sitting on a tripod very similar to yours, Carlos, but it's on the ground, and it's only about 8 feet up. It's right next to my patio on the northeast corner of my house, and of course it's pointed. It's a Loop Yagi 5 feet long, and it's pointed at Cougar Mountain. When we were on Channel 3, I was getting a much stronger signal, I think. I don't know, could...
KD7QKU, we've lost your audio on 2 meters.
Everything went...
Lost your audio on 2 meters, Ron.
You stopped transmitting. Something happened there. You weren't you're about midway through your last conversation. You stopped transmitting.
How about that? Is it transmitting now? Okay, it might have been where I had my finger on the push to talk button. I looked down at the S meter and it wasn't on, and then I moved my finger up and the S meter went up. Okay, well, I don't know where I left off, but I said I'm getting a P5 picture, and my antenna's only about 8 foot off the ground, so I don't think I need to put it on the roof for now. I think I just leave it right where it is. It'll be interesting. I want to order my transmitter and amplifier as soon as I can get together with Wade. If not, I'm going to call the guy tomorrow and see if I can get his address, talk to him, and send him a check. He has to build those amplifiers, I think, so get him started on that. As some of you know, my wife had a bad episode here. Somebody's got feedback. Maybe it was Richard. Richards. I see your picture now. My wife had a little episode where she had to have a pacemaker put in. Wednesday we went to the pacemaker doctor over here, St. Joe's Hospital, and they hooked her up to all the machines. Let it drop. Now, yeah, I'm on a different radio, different microphone. Button's a little different. But anyway, went to the pacemaker guy and lady, it was actually, and they hooked her up to a bunch of machines, and they determined that the wire that goes into the lower part of her heart is requiring too much voltage to, is the location of the wire into the heart muscle or something. And so they're going to have to put her in the hospital and open her up and put in a new wire. And she'll have to start this 6-week thing all over again. She goes in on November 4th. So we're hoping to get that taken care of finally. She's feeling good, and it's working, but it'll run the battery dead in the pacemaker is the problem. The pacemaker battery is good for 10 years, they say, but with it using as much voltage or whatever it is out of the battery, it won't last 10 years. So anyway, they want to fix it. and I think they should. So we'll get that taken care of, hopefully. And then, of course, she had a blood clot in her left lower leg, right about above the ankle, and then they found out that she broke her leg. Actually, when she fell, they x-rayed her in Portland, and they said the leg wasn't broken, but it's cracked, and that's why it's been so painful for her. And then she has a blood clot down there, so now they put her on Xarelto, try to dissolve the clot. Her leg looks much better today. It was pretty warm and hot and swollen Sunday, but it's much better now. So I think she's on the road to recovery there. We get that wire replaced in her pacemaker, and she'll be back to normal, I hope. All right, that's enough out of me. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, well, first thing, Dave, a little admin for you. Carlos was too polite to correct you, but I'm not. His call is 87NP Papa, not Foxtrot. So, welcome, Carlos. Really glad to have you, and that's cool that you're getting a signal. That's exciting, and yeah, I can tell you how excited I was yesterday when I finally got a signal as I was driving. So it's all looking good. The one thing that is yet to be determined, in order to go mobile, I'm trying to make do with just a vertical antenna, on the roof of my car on a mag mount. It's a tri-bander. It's a good tri-bander. It's a gain tri-bander, but it's not a beam, of course. And so we will see. I'm receiving the 1.2. How well I get out with the 70 centimeter signal in vertical polarization, that is another story which we'll just have to find out. I've got my amplifiers. That will help. I know Ron told me he was able to do it from his old home, but he also was about 2 miles from the repeater, so it's going to be a little different story with me. But hopefully that will do it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to be a little more elaborate and actually, set up beam antenna, at least a transmit beam antenna. And if I'm going to go that far, I might as well do the receive beam as well. I've got both. But I'd really, really like to not have to do that, especially, as it gets more the cold and rainy nights that we're going to have. So wish me luck. And but at least the receive is looking real good. Richard, great to see you on as well. And I missed out on a lot of what people were saying earlier because I was me and Wade were trying to work together a little bit to get the technical situation worked out, and it looks like it's worked out now. It looks like everything's going very nicely. So I guess that's good for now. I will send it back to net control. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, well, let's go down to Arizona to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, after I turn this button and that, and believe it or not, not only did I make it online, it appears. I saw people giving me thumbs up. Thanks, James. But I worked my way through it, and here I am. So, and wow, so hearty welcome to Carlos. This is a big day. So really good deal. And Ron, God, I'm so sorry to hear about Joanne. That's kind of well, I know what, it's called practicing medicine. And practicing is a good term. Just ask me all about it someday, and I'll tell you about practicing medicine. Oh, hey, Ron, by the way, I don't know if you had time or not. I got to see it, but did Did you catch the Oregon-Ohio State game last Saturday? Yeah, nod, yes or no. Oh, a little bit. Oh, no. You had to see the end, at least. Ohio State blew it. They had an opportunity to tie it up, but the quarterback, I think, lost track of the clock, and he ran into the middle of the field with no timeouts, just a few seconds, and ran out the clock, and Oregon won. So that was pretty exciting. Not that I'm a huge Oregon fan. I'm really excited for the Washington-Oregon game now. So because last year, we beat Oregon, and you would have thought the earth had come to a complete standstill. I mean when you tune into Oregon radio stations or Oregon YouTube channels, they were just, they might as well not even have a football team anymore as far as these people were concerned. So it was a lot of fun. So I hope we get a rewash and repeat again this year as well. So anyway, down here we finally, I think, cracked the heat wave. I see 17 degrees, in the near future, on my iPhone weather, the days to come. So it started today. We got up to 95. We're mostly at 93, 94. And then after that, I see tomorrow maybe 89, so progressively gets colder by Friday is when we have rain. I'll believe it when I see it. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX, thanks for that. And we'll get another ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. So now to Tacoma to Wade, W7ATS.
Well, hello, everybody. And a couple technical difficulties starting the net. But those all worked out now. I had to stop the stream to BATC. We're just getting bottlenecked. There's too many streams going up and back from the repeater site. We are going to be hopefully getting a little more bandwidth after this net. One of our Rob is going to be working on that tonight. But if not, I guess we'll just kind of stick with one streaming output. But it's definitely looking nice and clean here on the downlink. No stuttering. It's just perfect. Today I did go up to the repeater site I made some adjustments. I pulled the audio from the old streaming computer and put it directly to the new streaming computer. I had it split, but it was causing a ground loop. So, and also I tightened up the receive antenna a little bit. Hopefully that'll help out with getting a signal up into the repeater. Hopefully next week or so I should have my transmitter from High-Des coming in. Then I'll be able to send the signal up to the repeater as well. Hey, Carlos, welcome. Nice to see you again on the net. And I hope when you come back we can get you all set up and you can get the receive and the transmit working. It looks promising. I saw your picture you posted in Discord. Yeah, that looks like a nice, strong image. And to kind of comment on Ron's signal question or issue, it might be because I did turn down the amplifier just a little bit because I was noticing it wasn't linear. So I did increase the attenuation going out to the final PA just to get the signal nice and clean and not too big of a slope coming off of the sides of each side of the DATV signal. We don't want to occupy more bandwidth than we need to. So if you can get the signal still, Ron, I think we're still good. If you start seeing problems, let me know. I can adjust it up and down a little bit, but I think I got it dialed in pretty good right now. So it's real linear and the signal's real clean. So besides that, did go out to dinner with my daughter and my son. and we went to the local bar here. It's called Oddfellows. It's a bar and a restaurant. Had dinner and just got back. So that's it. I'll turn the net back. This is W7ATL, Wade from Tacoma.
W7ITL, Wade, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, M7QO in Covington.
M7QO, thank you, Dave. Let's see, Dave and Jim, thank you for the update on that airplane. They found the crash site, but no sign of the crew yet. I don't recall who said it, but yeah, I'd say that does not particularly bode well for the crew. I would bet if they're up on the mountain with any elevation, they should be able to get a cell signal somehow, somewhere, but does not sound good. Jim, sealed the railing. Glad you were able to do that. I would guess it's been tested. I had a fair amount of precipitation come down at the house here. It wasn't really hard, but it came down pretty steadily for quite some time, including during the middle of the night. So, glad you were able to do that. Sorry it took a lot out of you. It's after listening to the procedure, which you needed to accomplish that, it does not surprise me at all that you're experiencing some aches and pains there, and probably from inhaling that product that can't be good. So give it maybe 2 days or so, and hopefully you'll feel fine then. Let's see, Dave, laundry. Yeah, that's always a nice thing to do. Carlos, welcome to the club there. And I understand you're getting some good signals on your receiver. Just can't quite decode them yet. No down converter yet. I'm in the same predicament. I was getting the analog signals here at the house all the time, but I don't have a digital down converter as of yet, and I need to delay getting that for a little bit. But we'll see. Maybe I can receive it. Maybe I can't. We'll see about that. I have a lot of trees between me and Cougar Mountain. That's the issue I have here. And when Seattle was transmitting commercial broadcast analog television, I was receiving all of the networks, but when they switched to digital and turned off the analog, I cannot receive any of them. So those towers are at a different location than Cougar Mountain, but we'll see. Time will tell. It's just going to take me some time. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Ron, wow. Sorry about them kind of not doing a good job there with Joanne. Yeah, it sounds like that needs to be fixed. We'll keep praying for her on that. And my goodness, a fracture on her leg as well, and a blood clot. When it rains, it pours. So the expression goes. Bob, remote. Yeah, you definitely get more gain out of a directional antenna. But then if you're driving around, you need the vertical. So I don't know. You might want to try the vertical and see if it's adequate. If it is, then you probably don't need the beam, because with the digital, you're either going to get a decent signal or you're not. That's my thought on that. So I would try with just the vertical antenna first before messing with the directional antenna. Dick, let me reset. Thank you, Mr. Repeater. Dick, good to hear you. You're sounding better, and that's good. It probably helps that you're eating better, too. That definitely helps improve one's spirits, and so that's good. And I agree with you 100%. Practicing medicine. Yeah, I've got a couple tales to tell of my own on that. But, oh well. And getting cooler in Phoenix, well, that's good. It'll help you feel a little more comfortable. But I agree, rain, I don't know, the years that I was in Phoenix, we had 2 100-year floods. But having said that, it did not rain in Phoenix. It was water just coming down the washes and washing through the area. So I don't know. Hope it's kind of similar over there. Oh, by the way, don't drive through deep water. You don't know exactly how deep it is if you happen to go through somewhere. Wade, thanks for the work you're doing on the digital side for the club. We all appreciate it, and hopefully we could all get on board here before too much more time goes by. Or at least all of us who can get to Cougar. So this is encouraging. KD7ZYM N7QO.
Let's go to James, WW7N.
Hey, WW7N here, Northeast Bellevue. Well, Ron, send best wishes to Joanne. Wow, wiring harness work and framework. Sounds like a lot of work there. I hope it goes all well. I forgot to tell you guys, I am going to win a Nobel Prize based on Sunday's activities. I renamed all the muscles of the body between the belly button and the knees the painting muscles. You just get rid of all those quadriceps and all those other fancy words you don't need anymore. You can just call them the painting muscles, referring to everything at the same time. And that way, exactly, it's a lot easier. So anatomy students, 100 years from now will be remembering me. They might even call them the good now painting muscles, just to, streamline the whole process of anatomy. If you've ever taken an anatomy course, you know what I'm talking about. 7 November, Papa. Okay, that's good. There's one thing I can't figure out how to put my name and call sign at the bottom of my picture on this product, but I'll have to figure out how to do that. That's always handy. The repetition helps me remember everyone's calls. And let's see, for the rest of the week, I really don't have anything too exciting planned. Just getting to the point where I can walk again normally without looking like I have some kind of strange neurological disease is probably the big goal for tomorrow and Friday. Other than that, I guess I'm now shifting over to interior projects. Really gorgeous 1970s lamp stuck on my ceiling right above me now. I call it the boob lamp because it looks like some kind of strange breast hanging out of the ceiling. I'm going to replace that with the modern-looking lamp that Bob gave me. And then I've also got 1 or maybe 2 fluorescent fixtures that I have to replace with LEDs. And the funniest story I heard on that is a complaint on these LED bulbs, which are designed to run off 120 volts AC. They've obviously got enough dropping resistors in there to make that work or something. One of the complaints I read about them was they just put them, the person said I put them into the fixtures, the sockets, and all of a sudden there were sparks and flames all over the place. So they apparently failed to remove the high voltage transformers that power fluorescent bulbs and then wire the 120 volts AC directly into the fixtures. So instead of piping 120 volts AC, they piped, 480 or whatever it is that you run a fluorescent fixture with. That must have been exciting. So anyway, at least I haven't made that error yet. I got 2 of them done, and they're so brilliantly bright. You know, I flipped on the light in my kitchen, and all I could do was look around at the kitchen and scream. I mean, this is what it looks like in normal light. But I've cleaned it up a little bit, so it doesn't look so bad. So that's it. That's the hot news here. Like I see, we got about 14 minutes at the top of the hour. Dave, why don't you call for visitors here? You never know when someone might be listening. This is James, WW7ATS. Go ahead, Dave.
7N, and we'll get another idea here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, I'll pause in case any visitors want to make a contact with the net at this point. Visitor, please try again. Your signal is very weak. And note that you need a tone of 103.5. You'll need a tone of 103.5. And this is Dave, KD7, Ron's wife, Joanne, and hope that things heal up fast for that. And for James, he gets the Rembrandt Award for painting his patio railings. I think that's pretty good. I think it was done by a real artist, so we'll be looking forward to that. And we're glad to see that the weather is dropping down in temperatures in Arizona. Makes it very pleasurable. And it seems like when I was down there a couple of times by, it takes you up through about January, February, and then March it starts warming up again. So anyway, congratulations on surviving all of the hot spots, and now you'll be able to enjoy the Q-tip weather, as they speak it, for the people coming down to Arizona. This is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's go to Carlos, and I will stand corrected, AD7NF.
AD7NP, November Papa.
That's right. No problem at all. So a couple of updates as folks were mentioning the equipment. As a good reminder on the amplifier, I did reach out to Jim Andrews, and in fact I went and checked my inbox, and he said that he had built my amplifier. It was just setting up the adjustments, and so good news is that probably when I'm back I would have both the IDAS equipment and Jim's linear amplifier, so that should get me to the repeater. Although it sounds interesting, the notion of getting mobile, so I'll probably try that again. I do have a car with a big battery, so that means that could power a lot of the transmission. I have been also collecting all sorts of DVD receivers. One of the latest ones is this Raspberry Pi tuner. This is it's called Raspberry Pi DVB hat, and I'll give it a try at some point, because one of the things I would like to try to do would be to just have the Raspberry Pi next to the antenna up there, and then just send the signal down through just an Ethernet cable, and so would have no loss over there. The reality, and to the colleague that was mentioning, kind of directional versus non, I mean, I'm here in Clydesdale, so there's kind of some distance from the repeater. If I don't have the preamp, which is an SSB preamp for 1.2, I don't see much of the signal. So it's both the directional, which is 1.2 gigahertz comment, and SSB preamp on 1.2 that allow me to see the bandwidth on my ICOM R8600. That's where I'm seeing the signal right now. But without preamp and without pointing the antenna, I don't see much of a signal. So maybe that's the distance, and maybe once we all start driving around, we will have kind of car to car, or car to boat, and boat to car, and boat to plane. I mean, we should have our own contest and awards of reaching all the contacts that are possible on this. But definitely looking forward both on getting the amplifier. I also ordered some linear amplifiers just from AliExpress at the same time that I ordered the one from Jim, and I'll be kind of trying to compare and check also, of course, on the spectrum analyzer if only the proper signal is going out versus everything around it. Again, thank you very much for the welcome, and probably my last turn, as the family had some expectations that I would have dinner with them. I'm definitely letting them down, but I will work on that, as I say. Back to Dave, Net Control, Carlos Alpha Delta 7 November, Papa.
Thank you with that, Carlos. And I got the November Papa right, finally. Thank you for joining the net. We appreciate you joining and participating and going out to get the equipment to do this. So let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Well, Bob, I'm going to show you the little mag mount. It's 28 inches long, and setting on my railing at over 22 miles away, I can get a P5 picture. So you shouldn't have any problem, no matter where you're at. So I'll show you my antenna. I got a P5 picture on my patio railing here in Tacoma, and I think I'm at least 22 miles, maybe I'm 28 miles, I don't know. I looked on QRZ, and I didn't find the repeater call sign to get the mileage between my house and there. I think I used James' house call sign, and I think I was 22 miles from him, so he might be, it might be a mile more up to the repeater, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for all your best wishes on Joanne, but it'll be, about 3 more weeks before she has the surgery. But she's feeling good right now. I'm the one that's, doing all the work. Yesterday was laundry, and then I cooked, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and washed dishes, and so I think I'm going to have somebody come in and clean the house one of these days. I don't think I want to do dusting and stuff. So anyway, that's it. I enjoyed the net. Good to see everyone, especially Richard. It's always good to see Richard. I'm sorry I didn't watch all that game, Richard. So, I heard about it. I heard that that the coaching staff made some poor decisions at the end of that game. Everybody was kind of talking about that. All right, back to net, 73's everybody, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to K9PQ, Bob.
Okay, well, Ron, I got to address this. I don't really want to, but what you're seeing has nothing to do with what I'm seeing at all, or the antenna, or anything. So, I mean, yes, you're far away, but you have some kind of a beautiful, clear path signal with nothing in the way. I'm looking for that. That's what I need to find. So, and then the other thing is, I'm talking about is transmitting, not receiving. Receiving will be fine on the vertical. Transmitting is my concern because it's a horizontal antenna. It's expecting a horizontal signal, and I'll be sending vertical. But we'll see. That's what I'll be testing. So let's see, moving on. The pacemaker run, I wish your wife well. And the broken leg, that's crazy that they didn't find that. And I'm really glad they found it, and she's doing better. So all the best to Joanne. Carlos, the awards, I love the idea. I think we should call it the WAV, Worked All Vehicles, to get cars and boats and planes. I think that should be our award we have. I did want to make a note. It's probably obvious to nearly everybody, if not everybody, but just to make it official, we have disabled all of the analog up at the repeater. I don't think we've removed it yet, but we're digital only at this point, and we're not planning to go back or do dual mode or anything like that. So just to kind of make sure that was communicated to everybody. Let's see. Oh, Jim. Wade and I have discussed bringing our gear around to different people's homes to get them to find out if they can reach from their place. So I know Wade had volunteered to come to your place because he's closer, as well as Richard and Ron, of course. And I'll be going to see Dave, and he doesn't know it yet, but James, I'm planning to come to your place as well and bring my gear just to see how well you can reach the repeater from your place with the high-des gear. Just thought that would be a good way without you having to spend any money yet to find out, how well things are going to be working. What else do I have? Let's see. Oh yeah, the other thing, Jim, with the commercial stations, they do ATSC, which are much more finicky. The DVB-T as a mode will get through better, so hopefully that's going to make a difference with you receiving our repeater signal and getting up to the repeater as compared to the commercial stations. That's a really cool idea with the Raspberry Pi and putting it right next to the antenna to reduce the loss. That sounds like a cool project there, Carlos. And the station coming in, you were very weak, but I thought I heard Kilo 7 uniform, and then you faded out completely for me. So please do try and get in again if you can find a better location or a little more power or different antenna or something. We'd love to hear from you. I think that's all I have. Oh, UW Oregon, I think we're going to get creamed this year. I just think we're going to get creamed by Oregon. Yes, we beat Michigan, but man, oh man, I don't think UW will stand a chance against Oregon this year. I'm not planning to watch that game. Let's put it that way. Okay, back to net, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And this is Dave, KD7CYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave,